Hey everybody, it's Jose Laya. We hope you're doing well. The first quarter of 2025 for the real estate market is in the books. And today we're looking at the condo market in south of 5th, which is one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in all of Miami. It's found on the southernmost tip of Miami Beach and is surrounded by water on three sides. You've got the bay side on the west and the Atlantic Ocean on the east. It has some of the most expensive real estate in all of Miami. Since the beginning of this year, we've started to do our market updates focusing on each neighborhood as a single video to allow you to really hone in on the neighborhood of your choice. Whether you currently live there and want to see how the market is doing or are considering buying there, we want to be able to put the information in your hands in a quick and easy way. We are also taking a look at a lot more data to be able to give you more details and information as to how the market is doing. We're also going to give you a breakdown of all the sales data, including active listings for sale, closed sales. We're also going to dive a bit deeper to see what price range most of this activity is taking place in. And then we'll wrap things up with our market summary. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. So here we have our first graph up. We have a month by month breakdown of the first quarter to see if we can spot any trends in the condo market in south of 5th. Let's take a look at the numbers. So if you look at January to February, the number of active listings actually went down a bit, but then they came back up for March. Not too much of a concern, as that number in March is pretty close to the number that we had in January. But now look at closed sales. Closed sales actually went up about 50% from 17 to 25, while months of supply went down. Days on market went down. Those are two good indicators that if they're going down, that means things are doing well there. The median price per square foot decreased, as well as the median price sold. So some mixed signals here as far as these indicators that we like to use. Let's jump now into our next graph to see if we can spot any trends. It's going to show us a breakdown of where most of the active listings, what price range they're taking place in, as well as the closed sales, what price range are they falling in as well. Let's take a look at that now. So here's our graph up for the first quarter of 2025, and let's look at the numbers. So we ended the quarter with 223 active listings, 51 closed sales for the entire quarter. That gives us about 13 months of supply, which is about a year's worth of supply. To give you some context, a balanced or a normal market is considered to have 6 to 9 months. So 13 months is a little on the high side. Let's look at the price ranges. Out of the 223 active listings, look at that. A majority of them are at the $1 million and under mark. Okay. 1 to 3 million has 73 active listings. Now, let's describe south of 5th a little bit more for those that don't know. The reason there's 92 active listings at $1 million and under when it is one of the most exclusive neighborhoods for condos in all of Miami is because on the perimeter, since it's pretty much like a small little island, it's got water on three sides. Those three sides, the most exclusive high rises and the newer high rises, like most of them were built basically from 2002 and newer, those are all on the perimeter, which means they're all on the waterfront and they're all extremely tall buildings, about anywhere from 30 to 40 stories. Those are the newer buildings, the newer construction, bigger floor plans, etc., more amenities, etc., etc. Those you're not going to find at $1 million and under. The reason there's so many active listings at that price range is because the infill of south of 5th is all low to mid-rise buildings, most of them built between the 50s and the 70s. Virtually no amenities, some don't even have parking. So you are going to find that there are a lot of active listings, obviously at the $1 million and under, because there's a lot of infill in south of 5th, and a lot of those older buildings in today's market are really not selling unless you heavily discount them, especially if you want to get into a neighborhood of south of Fifth, which is what attracts people to that lower price point. However, that's why you see that making up the majority of active listings. Now the next segment is 1 to 3 million. You've got 73 active and 15 closed for the quarter. And it's pretty impressive to see that you've got active listings pretty much in every price range there. So when we're adding up the numbers of the a million and under and then 1 to 3 million, we can see that between the active listings for sale and the closed sales, that 3 million and under price range makes up about 75% of the market activity in south of Fifth for condos. One thing we do want to point out is that at the $5 million plus price range, there's 36 active listings, while only 3 closed sales for the entire quarter. That's something we're going to have to watch very closely, as it indicates that there may be a slowdown in that price range, as there's just not much sales activity taking place in that first quarter. We will indicate that we have seen that across the board in the neighborhoods that we cover, especially for condos. We've seen it on the single family housing side as well, but more so on the condo side for that $5 million plus price range, just for you guys to take note. Now that we've gone through the numbers, let's jump into our summary. Here we go. So in summary, the condo market in south of Fifth is sending us mixed signals. We had the number of closed sales pick up from one month to the next, the months of supply decrease along with days on market. However, we're starting to see a bit of a slowdown, especially in the higher price ranges. We do see the sales velocity picking up in that 3 million and under price range, but as we've said, at 3 million plus and especially at 5 million plus, the market in general, not just in south of Fifth, seems to be slowing down, which unfortunately that's coming at a really bad time, as we are now dealing with a very volatile stock market, unstable interest rates, really on a global scale, all due to the trade wars and tariffs, which we feel are going to negatively impact the numbers for the month of April, as well as the second quarter of 2025, and possibly the entire year of 2025. These are all very serious global economic headwinds that are going to affect the real estate market in general. So stay tuned. So if you're a buyer looking for a condo in the south of Fifth neighborhood, if you're at $3 million and under, you've got a lot of inventory to choose from. Almost, like we said, 75% of the active listings are between basically 3 million and under. So if you're a buyer at that price range, you've got a lot of options to sort through, a lot of inventory to sort through. Be patient, and you will be able to find exactly what you're looking for, and you're going to be able to negotiate just based off of what we can see here. If you're a seller of a condo in south of Fifth, the numbers here seem to be favoring the buyers. Obviously, as we've said many times before, in the condo market, it really depends. You got to go building by building. One building could have 20 or 30 listings for sale. The building next door may have 2 or 3. So it is condo and building specific. However, with 223 active listings to sort through, and that 3 million and under price range having a lot of inventory as a seller, you've got to be very careful when you price your property. We recommend in this scenario, as we have many times before, in this type of scenario, you're going to want to price your condo at the market or below. You do this as a strategy to attract the most attention as soon as you come on the market and are listed for sale. You don't want to get lost in the shuffle and have your condo sit on the market, especially with all the economic headwinds that we're facing in the world right now. Well, That's our first quarter of 2025 market update for the condo market in south of 5th. I am Jose Laya. I was born and raised right here in Miami. And as I start my 19th year in the real estate market, I can proudly say that our goal in making these videos is to provide you with value and help as many people as we can by sharing real market data to give you a better insight into the local market. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.